Hello, Guardians. Welcome to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is the mayor of the Deepstone Crypt, the keeper of the keys to the Vault of Glass, the Jotun Toten, Dead Man Tales wielding Josh Finney.
I like this. I like how we keep getting more and more names added on, and they're just keeper to the keys of Vault of Glass. I like that.
I'm trying to get everybody amped for the vault.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. I really can't wait for this.
I know. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Whew, it's going to be good.
How are you, Josh?
Corey, I'm good.
I feel like we haven't done enough shows this week.
Yeah, it was nice to have a few days off. We did, what was it, 4 shows in 3 days last week?
Yeah, well, we did the Bethesda talk, and then we did this. Yeah. And then you were on Boss Rush, and then we did Standard Def. Yeah,
it's been a crazy week. I somehow found ways to keep talking about the Bethesda acquisition in different contexts every time, too. Before we jump into this, though, Corey, did you see anything from that Square Enix event today?
I watched it. It was like, why? Like,
I mean, I like it. If you're not going to do like a traditional E3 show, I kind of like spreading stuff out because, to be honest, they needed to talk about Avengers.
Yeah, that was like that and Outriders, and then the that Project Agatha, Agatha, and it's called Athia is called what for something.
Forbound, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
That game looks awesome.
Yeah.
That is like instantly my most anticipated PS5 game that we've seen. Instantly.
Yeah.
And Gary Whitta is writing it, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very stoked about this. I like it.
Yeah.
That was a surprise. I thought for sure we wouldn't see that again until summer for Sony's event. It almost makes me think that Final Fantasy 16 is actually going to make it out this year.
Yeah, those are like the 2 games I'm looking forward to on PlayStation at this point. It's not like, I mean, yeah,
I'm
Horizon.
Very excited for Returnal coming out next month.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good things about it.
Very excited for that. I'm less high on Ratchet and Clank than everybody else. Just because, like, I don't know. There's so many Ratchet and Clank games, and I played a little bit of the remake back in 2016. The last time I really played Ratchet and Clank was like maybe beginning of PS3.
Yeah.
So it's long since passed me by. Call me when they decide to do another Jak and Daxter.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm more of a Jak and Daxter guy.
Yeah.
I really liked Jak 1 a lot. Jak 2 and 3 were okay. But
they're fine. 1 felt like the next evolution of the N64 platformer.
Yeah. I really liked
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I really liked the Jak game that nobody knows about, which is the Lost Frontier.
I never played that one.
It was more like the first one.
Didn't it come out on PSP also?
No, that was just Daxter.
Okay, I thought Lost Frontier came out on both PS2 and PSP.
I mean, it might have come out on PSP. I just know Daxter came out on PSP, but that one was really fun.
I got really excited today when they announced Life is Strange 3.
And it's not episodic.
True Colors.
Yeah.
Well, so it is episodic, but it's all coming out at once.
Oh.
In one package. I don't know if I like that or if I don't like that, because there's no denying that the release schedule of Life is Strange 2 murdered that game. I mean, even trying to go back and play it, it feels really disjointed to me, and it lacked a lot of the magic that Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm had. But honestly, what might excite me more is the fact that those are both getting remastered. Because they needed it, especially the first one.
Yeah, that first one's real janky.
Dude, it's real rough. I played it over the summer again. I hadn't played it probably in about 5 years. I was like, oh, now I'm remembering why I didn't finish it the first time.
Yeah.
This is rough. But, I mean, I love Max and Chloe. Really excited to do that. And I'd like to see how much they're going to cost individually. I don't think they're going to cost that much. If you buy the Ultimate Edition of True Colors, which is like $70 or $80, it comes with all 3 games. And I mean, True Colors by itself is $60, so I can't imagine that they're going to be that expensive.
Yeah.
But again, why are these games not coming to Switch? I know this is a Destiny podcast, but I really like these games, and these games I feel like are perfect for something I'd like to play on my Switch.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the Telltale games are starting to make their way over. Like the Batman games are there. Tales from the Borderlands is there. Like
I just think that this shows them abandoning the episodic releases for Life is Strange. Just kind of affirms to me that they are giving up on maybe like episodic releases. Like, I think Tell Me Why did it perfectly last year. They kept it short and sweet. Once they did it 3 weeks in a row. I think that's how you have to do an episodic game. Get it all done, then release it each week. Because like for me, it was like tuning into a TV series. Yeah. That's why I liked it. And that's we're going to talk about the seasonal narratives of Destiny this season here in a little bit with a listener question. But I kind of liken it that way. Like they made sure I was playing it every week.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about with my friends.
Yeah.
The whole 2 of them that played it when it came out.
Speaking of TV shows, Falcon and the Winter Soldier starts tomorrow.
I am staying up until 2 a.m. to watch the first episode.
Yeah, I'll be spoiled when I wake up to poop for work in the morning.
I'm very excited. My girlfriend does not work tomorrow, so we are staying up until 2 a.m. to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. I took a nap this afternoon to be ready. I'm excited.
I still have like zero. I know we should probably talk about Destiny, but I'm like I've zero. I have no idea what this show is about. Like I mean I know
the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's a buddy cop movie.
I know, basically. But like they have Sharon Carter's in it, and then you have a U.S. agent, and then you have Baron Zemo with the mask, and then you have like this shady organization with other masks.
I think it's going to play into Masters of Evil. But, Corey, what do you say that we jump into some Destiny talk?
Yeah, I suppose we can do that. We have to talk about Shahan. Nobody wants to talk about Shahan. Except nerd journalists, apparently.
We will in fact talk about Shahan in the lore corner this week. But let's go ahead and jump in, as is tradition, to the TWAB first off.
The TWAB.
The TWAB.
Who's going to do that when I'm gone, Josh?
I'll make Nerd Generalist do it. He's going to join us for the episodes that she'll be out. Okay. We were just talking this afternoon about some ideas. We're in the slow part of the season, so we're at the point where we don't know if they're going to surprise drop something on us. So I don't want to have topics ready and then not be able to do them after we've meticulously talked and thought them out. But this week, really like Schwab. They're going to talk a bit about Grandmasters at the beginning. It is the first chance to get a PvE weapon in the Adept category. So what's a Grandmaster? Grandmasters are strikes that are cranked up to 1325. Contest mode is on, so you cannot go. That's the minimum light to enter, and that's the max light that you'll have. Tons of champions. Everything's pretty BV. You have a 45-minute timer. When that 45 minutes is up, all of your revives are gone. They just instantly disappear. So if you die, you're gone for good.
You're toast.
Yeah, that's a bit rough. It is good old Sepix Prime this week.
Sweet.
So some horrifying memories of hiding in the shack to the left in the Sepix Prime boss room. Apparently the strategy is to chain Wells of Radiance and have a divinity pop out and shoot him. But it's just it's bonkers. I've seen a few people do it. We were watching Dotto run them on Tuesday. The loadout he used is probably exactly what I'm running, which is Night Watch, Divinity, and the Raid Machine Gun, assuming I can get that to drop at some point this week. I'm going to have to run it on multiple characters to have a shot at it, I think.
Yeah, probably.
So that's awesome. This week, Swarm is up. It'll be Shadow Price, the auto rifle, next week, and then Palindrome as the hand cannon the week after that. So Palindrome is going to be the one that'll be up for the new strike Proving Grounds in 2 weeks. We know that's going to be the Nightfall, the week of the 30th. Really looking forward to that. If some of this leaked stuff is, or data mine stuff is accurate, this might be one of the coolest strikes they've ever done in Destiny. So I'm very excited to see if that pans out.
It looks cool. Like some of the stuff they released looks cool. Like it looks really cool.
I'm all the way here for it. I really like it. when it comes to story content, we try not to talk about it too much before it's actually out if we've seen data mines, which is the exact opposite of what we're going to do with Guardian games later. We're absolutely going to talk about that leaked Guardian game stuff.
Yeah, I want me a water bottle, Josh.
The coolest mod that it actually drops, there's a new Adept mod in the loot pool. So if you don't know, Adept mods can only be slotted on Adept weapons. So these can be slotted on Adept weapons from Trials, or the ones from Nightfalls.
What's this Trials you speak of?
These are weapon mods, so they're not going to go away on you, even if they decide to like discontinue stuff, a la Warmind cells or Charged with Light. If something like that were to go away, these will not go away with it, and can be slotted on any weapons in the future, I believe. Do not quote. This new mod is called Big Ones. It takes major spec and boss spec and puts them together. So I'm all the way here for that, especially for endgame content for Grandmasters, dungeons, and raids. That's going to bring just so much relief to speedrunning teams and people going for worlds first and things like that. Because then you got to decide, well, should I be bringing in my Adept mod or not? Because it is an Adept mod, so Swarm is the only heavy, I believe, right now that you can run that on until the Trials rocket launcher or sword come around as Adept versions. That's really cool. I'm down. I'm going to run my first Grandmaster probably next week. So I simply will not get to it this week, unfortunately. I'm going to hopefully run a few Masters to prepare and train up. But speaking of next week, Iron Bananas is back.
Yes.
Extra Valor. Go get your Pinnacle rewards. Don't accidentally delete them like I did, which is why I can't go Grandmaster this week.
Good job, Josh. Way to delete. Yeah. Everybody's deleted one.
I deleted one. They helped me hit the cap, and then the ones I got over it, I accidentally deleted. Thinking, I'm never going to use this weapon, and I'm not going to go for Grandmasters, and I got persuaded to do Grandmasters. So that's cool. Go hang out in Iron Bananas. It's super frustrating, but the stasis changes do go live on the morning of the 23rd, which is when Nanas launches. So who knows? Maybe it'll actually be bearable this time. We have an update on Eyes of Tomorrow that the drop rate change that they enabled did not actually take the TLDR. We've collapsed all your account raid completions into a single value, so Bad Luck Protection applies properly no matter which characters you run the raid on, and applies retroactively. So if you still haven't gotten a drop yet, you will have the corrected drop chance after the fix goes live, depending on how much raiding you've already done. Basically what happened was when they put the patch on for the cumulative drop chance, it was only applying to the first character you completed the raid on each week. So people who are running it multiple times were getting screwed out of their chances. So there's a lot of people who have done it on every character who probably after they log in with this next hotfix are the second they complete Deepstone Crypt, they're just going to get it to drop.
God.
I've only done it one time, not on my Hunter. I've done multiple runs in a week with a Hunter, but it's counting your unique completions. Your first completion of the week, each week on each character is what gives you the drop chance. This is what may make me start doing this on my Warlock and or Titan, just to get extra chances at, first off, to get Trusty and to get the
hand cannon
commemoration. I have the hand cannon to get commemoration, the machine gun in my loot pool, as well as finally get Eyes to drop. We'll see what happens. We'll see if my luck holds up, because the plan is for me to run it once this week and hope all I care about is getting the stupid machine gun to drop. If I can get that and Trusty, great. If I don't get either one, I'm going back in on a Warlock, and then so help me God, if I have to go back in on the Titan, I will. I really don't want to, though. Nobody likes to go in with the class that they're the worst with. And I definitely don't want to run a raid on a Titan when I have like maybe 12 hours total played on a Titan ever.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about
I really
Hunter.
don't want to be going in to do A-tracks on a character I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah, let's. I started my Warlock this week, and then I realized I had to do the new light stuff, and I was like, I don't really want to do this, so I went back to the Titan. but my Warlock exists now. So, I was just like, man, I don't want to do all this New Light stuff. It's so tedious and stupid. And I didn't really look for a way, but it doesn't look like you can skip any of it, really. It's just dumb. I feel like if you have another character, you should be able to skip the New Light stuff. That's my 2 cents. But
I think you should be able to, too. And I also am just at the point where I would like to go get Stasis on my Warlock, but I can't bring myself to do the Beyond Light campaign again.
Yeah.
Quite frankly. So that's where I'm at with it.
I feel like if you have one character and you've put in a certain amount of time or have gotten so far, like, the stuff just unlocks on your other character. You know what I mean?
I would like it.
I feel like the campaign stuff should be like an account-wide thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where like I'm going to complete the campaign with this character, and then like maybe you have to do that set, like those 2 or 3 missions again to get the stasis right, but like not do the whole campaign. Yeah. It's
unbearable to have to go do everything again, and it just discourages me from ever wanting to go do it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's annoying. Fine, whatever. Yeah. It's not like I have to have it to do anything right now. So it's not like, I think like the Hunter is probably the one for like PvE content, at least, where you're like, yeah, shit, you probably need to have Silence and Squall unlocked.
Yeah, but it's just like, I would be more likely to use multiple characters if I didn't have to do all that crap again. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the problem for me, at least. So, but
let's see here. They got a couple patch notes. There's gonna be a little patch that'll go live on Tuesday. Fixing an issue that prevents Scan and Heroic VIP patrols from appearing on Europa. Issue where the Frozen in Time ornament cannot be equipped in No Time to Explain. The Eyes at Tomorrow damage buff is finally going to happen. The stasis changes are going live, and then there is going to be another Trials of Osiris patch. So Trials will be down this weekend. It'll be back next weekend, complete with stasis changes. We'll see what happens. I really need them to, and we're going to talk about rewards here when we finish the Schwab, but I really need them to address Trials having been down so many times since Beyond Light came out.
Right.
And then, I mean, like this season, it's just been a whole new level of unbearable. You have all this new loot, and we can't chase any of it.
Right.
Bright Dust issues, where if you did Vanguard, Crucible, or Gambit weekly challenges from the 10th to the 23rd of February, you were not getting your Bright Dust. There were 330,000 players who were affected. I was one of those. Got on my Bright Dust now, thankfully. It pushed me almost to 75,000 Bright Dust. Mm-hmm. For those of you keeping track at home, we may crack 80K by the end of the season. There's a whole bunch of issues. I mean, go look at those if you're curious. There's some fun movies of the week this week, which is great. There's one it's 9 people running Scarlet Keep, I believe. That's the one right there. I think that was it was a Nightfall at some point during all these issues. So that's cool. I like the Thunder Skip one, where someone uses their Thunder Crash to fly through one of the entire rooms of the Presage mission. That was really cool. And there's some cool artwork, too, including some of the stuff from this Season of the Plague thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think... Okay, I want to talk about that for just a second.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute.
So the backstory of this is so wacky. There was an artist trying to get an interview with Bungie, and he designed a whole suite of mods, like mod designs, and a whole Siva subclass even.
Yeah, I saw that.
That he sent to Bungie, and he put it out on Twitter too to try and get some traction, and a whole bunch of content creators saw it and were like, oh my god, this would be so cool. And so they all started making a whole bunch of things, and it's become this big campaign between a lot of content creators, and like Bungie has acknowledged its existence too. They say they're gonna they're doing things in little chunks, like some artwork and things here and there, some weapon designs, some weapon mods. They're gonna reveal everything on May 5th, I believe. But like, I mean, you've got some big name people. My name is Bife. Bife is the biggest name that's associated with this.
Yeah.
So I assume like coming up with like some fake lore or something like that. Not fake, but imaginary lore. That in the past, Bungie has listened to the community when we've asked them for certain things. And Siva's just kind of this thing that's been chilling since Rise of Iron. We got a Siva ornament this season.
Yeah, we did. For the Titan.
Anarchy.
Well, doesn't
you got one for the Titan too.
Yeah, it's the Doomfang, maybe. We
got one for the Hunters a couple seasons ago. We got one for one of our chess pieces. They've done little nods to it here and there, and I mean, we had Black Armor last season, and Ada 1 is coming back into the story now as the transmog vendor. So, kind of curious to see what they're going to do here. I imagine Bungie is. I mean, they put some of the artwork in here. So I'm very curious to see how they respond to this. It's Paul Tassi did a really good write-up over at Forbes. I'd encourage y'all to go read that. He gives a much better explanation than I do. But basically, he thinks it's only a matter of time now until Bungie actually does a Siva season, seeing the fan demand for it. It won't be a full-on expansion. It'll likely be a season, but as he puts it, this might be something really good to do during the year of Witch Queen.
Yeah.
It's unlikely that we'll see it between now and Witch Queen, just because like
the seasons and stuff. The
seasons are already built.
Yeah,
like they're working on Witch Queen now. So, speaking of seasons, they apparently we've now figured out through data mines the start and end dates for these seasons. And the summer season, it's literally going to go from the middle of May to the middle of August. And then that last season it doesn't have an end date. It's undefined. So it's probably going to go from mid-August. So from Solstice or from Moments of Triumph, Solstice of Heroes, whatever you want to call it, from that all the way to the launch of Witch Queen. So we're going to have another season of Arrivals situation on our hands.
Yeah.
Which, that's great, because that means I can dip right when Halo Infinite comes out and not feel bad.
Yeah.
I can dip for a few weeks, go play a ton of Halo with Joe, and then come on back at Christmas time.
Right.
So, very, very interested to see how... I thought for sure they would make both seasons a little bit longer. I didn't think they would throw it all in one season again.
Yeah.
I think they'd rather just have all that dead time in one season as opposed to two.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, you want to keep people playing, and then, like, while you're ramping up to the new expansion, you can let people dip out, and then, like, maybe the last couple weeks of the season, you have, like, a big kind of event like Season of Arrivals did, and bring people back in and get hyped, like, the last 3 weeks of the season.
We had the Nokris stuff that happened, and we had...
the city stuff.
The event in the tower.
Yeah.
As well as we had the Exodus quest during that. There was a lot of really cool story beats, I think, in Arrivals. But speaking of dipping in and out, Corey, we're going to go to our audience question.
Yes, let's do it, because this is the perfect place for it.
Yep. You like how I did that segue?
I did, except you ruined it by saying, do you like how I did this do this segue?
That's right.
That always ruins the perfect segue.
It doesn't. Hey, Guardians, this is my first time writing in, but been listening to the show for a while now. I love the show, and I would love you guys to have more guests or add a third chair, because those are my favorite shows. Anyways, here's the question. You guys talk about how Bungie says they designed the game for players to take breaks and play other games and come back when they're ready, but ever since the Season of Arrivals, I felt like I had to log in every week to keep up. Is there a good time to take a break, and do you see this season in particular a major story beat that players will miss if they don't keep playing? Thanks for taking my question, and see you out there. Good luck with the Grandmasters, Colin.
Thanks for writing in, Colin. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone that listens to the show, but we appreciate the people that write in just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more. Hey, we love you all equally.
Yeah.
But really, we do please favorites.
We do.
Corey, I'm going to let you take this one first.
Man, I gotta tell you, man.
As someone who dips in and out a little bit more often than I do.
Yeah, I don't know if I dip in and out more. I just don't, like, with, kids and family and stuff. I just don't have enough time to play. And there's a lot of other things, especially now, because as we talked about on 3.5 shows last week, Game Pass has just gotten full of stuff, right? Like all those Bethesda games and Avengers getting their update, which I am regrettingly going to try, and Outriders is coming, and there's all these games that I want to play, and I only have a few hours a night to play something if I'm not like dying of being tired all day. So I mean, I think it's okay to dip. I think there's ways to keep up without actually playing, like a show like this, or Bife does a great job every week of breaking down the lore of certain things, or there's ways to keep up without having to log in, right? I that's kind of where I fall, I also lean on you a lot to keep me updated because, well,
I think... Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish your thought.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, there are other games, and Bungie has said it's okay. Like, they want people to play other games, and there are... with the big expansions, there's that major overarching story, and these seasons are just meant to tell little stories in between, I mean, this season of Arrivals was, well, probably since the season of The Worthy and season of The Drifter, like, those felt like major story beats, but not every season's going to have a major story beat, right? They're just, they're just kind of small stories to hold you over if you're going to still keep playing. And were you gonna say something, Josh?
No. I'll let you finish your thought. I want to come back to that. I want to circle back to that though.
Yeah, I feel like it almost feels like the seasons are inconsistent in which seasons are more important than others. Although right now they're kind of on the right track of like, okay, this is how seasons are going to kind of progress the story. I don't really think it's all that important to play to keep up with the story stuff. Now, if you really want to like keep up on the lore heavily and keep up with like the Presage quest in particular and get all that lore and all the collectibles and stuff, yeah, you have to log in and keep up and keep playing. But like my power level's only 1291 at this point. Like I'm not max light. I'm not trying to get every pinnacle done every week, right? Like I do my gunsmith bounties, and I find the stuff that I want to play, and I'll do that, and I'll pick up those bounties, and then I dip out.
Not everybody's going to go after a Grandmaster or a Trials card.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
So a couple thoughts on this question. I think this is a really good question because we do say this a lot, and I don't think we've ever quite broken down why it's okay to dip in and out.
Yeah.
Like we said, if you want that lore each and every week and you don't want to be getting spoiled, or like for example, Presage, there's 3 different quests. They repeat after you hit week 3, but there's 3 different dialogues of Osiris and then Osiris and Keitel for the rest. And even you get the voice of the Unknown Guardian. There's different specters talking to you, Callus, Cade, Uldren, Gaul. There's 3 or 4 different ones that you can get talking to you during the mission. I think to see all that, to get the scannables in there, which tell their own story, and to get obviously you're there to go get the pinnacles. You're there to get the pinnacle drop. You're there to get more random rolls on Dead Man's Tale. And then I think most of us are doing it at this point by like week 5 or 6 of it to get the captain's log all finished out, because there's 9 pages to captain's log. We do suspect there's going to be a 4th week at some point, because the 3rd mission kind of leaves it in on an ambiguous note, and we know due to some glitches that people have found by going out of bounds that there is going to be one more area of the ship that we're going to find, whether that's in Presage or it's a separate mission, which I'm team separate mission at this point.
I would love another mission in there.
It's too big of a space to not use again. I think it's too unique of a space,
and you only see like a quarter of it. Like you don't see the whole thing. There's no way you see the whole thing.
It's just like the Harbinger mission, where Harbinger reused areas that we had done in the vanilla Hawkmoon quest and some of the seasonal stuff in the UDZ.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really cool way of reusing it time and time again to keep telling an ongoing story. But after week 3, you don't technically have to keep doing it. It's just if you want all the lore pages and you're going for the seasonal title, then yeah, you have to play it 9 times before the end of the season. 9 weeks, basically in a row, to get it done. But when we say that it's easy to dip in and out, this is content that's not going away. This is going to be in the game until the end of Season 15, and I do suspect that may be part of why we're getting that longer season at the end of the year, is to let lapsed players maybe go, oh crap, like everybody's been talking about these really cool missions, like, oh, Harbinger sounds awesome, Presage sounds really cool, like, oh, I gotta go see what these battlegrounds are about, like, you know, whatever happens in the summer season, you know, there's some stuff tied to Vault of Glass that's gonna go away, you know, like we're defeating Vex portals somewhere, like that could be really cool stuff that you want to come back and experience if you've been lapsed for several months. I have a friend who Johnny and I, friend of the show, we have a friend who dipped out during Season of Arrivals and just got back into the game recently. Got through Beyond Light. He just did his first run of Deepstone Crypt the other night. And that's really cool. Like, I like that he's getting back into it because he has a reason to now, especially with Sunsetting being gone. I'm hearing about more and more players wanting to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, say, like, you can take a break whenever. The story stuff will be there when you get back. You could come in and probably do all 7 Challengers Proving quests in a row. I don't know if you can.
Mm-hmm.
If you can,
you can. I did.
Okay.
I did the. I missed 2 of them, and I did them both. Yes. Well, I did 3 of them yesterday, actually. So
just like back to back.
Yeah. You know. Back to back.
It's like, so I mean, like, I like this storytelling method because for me it gets me to at least log in for a week.
Mm-hmm.
They've got me in a trap, right? Like, there's no FOMO, but there is FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see what's gonna happen. It's like tuning into a TV show for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do, like, I log in, I gotta do that, and I gotta go do Presage because I gotta get that page of the captain's log, so I don't forget about it.
Also, I want to point out that, like, this entire expansion and the season passes are available until the end until Witch Queen arrives. So technically, you could probably save all of it for like a month binge of this game and just go at it. Not that you would really want to do that, but
right. I don't know. I think that it's, when we say it's in the best place it's ever been, this is what we're talking about. It's kind of those who want to dip, but they have to kind of balance the, okay, we gotta service the people who are going to be here every week, but we want to make it accessible to people who want to go play other games, because Bungie themselves want to play other games, right? And so for those of us who want to play every single week, this is our main game we play with our friends, that's where the seasonal challenges come in. Like, I'm sitting here trying to strategize with Nerd Generalists and a couple of our other friends, like, okay, how do we take these out? Like, all right, let's not play any more Gambit for a few weeks because those things don't backdate, so I don't want to keep finishing things that are going to be up in the future. Like, now, this is one of the only data mine things that I endorse, is finding the list of challenges that are going to go up for the rest of the season, so you can kind of plan what you're going to do. And we're going to talk rewards here in just a second. We talked about seasonal challenges last week. We're going to revisit them again in just a second, but I think there's enough rewards there. If you want to come back for a binge for like the last month of a season, it's there. But if you want to play week to week, there's more than enough reasons to log in every single week. But you don't want to, unless you're going for a title. They're likely, if you're trying to get the seasonal title from now on, you're probably going to have to log in and do something every single week. There will be something you're going to miss. The seasonal challenges, you are going to miss stuff eventually if you're taking this approach because of the crucible modes, the rotating crucible modes. But other than that, it's not too bad. It's just you have to like kind of work at it a little bit. You are going to have a lot more. And now I look at them like, oh God, I don't know if I want to take a long break. I'll take like 2-3 weeks maybe, but that's going to be it. But that's why, like, I kind of like keeping up on my stuff, because now I can take a break towards the end of the season for 2 or 3 weeks, go play some other things. Not that I'm not doing it already, but I mean, this past week I've logged in one time, twice, because I logged in today. I played through all of Dishonored in the last couple days because it's on Game Pass now. I'm starting Dishonored 2 this weekend. but I'm going to keep that going while I'm waiting for the next big drop of content or while I'm waiting for Guardian games to come around. Like, yeah, I'm going to attempt Grandmasters. Yeah, I'm going to do Proving Grounds. I'm going to finish out the seasonal storyline as it comes up. I was sitting there grinding in Lost Sectors for some of these stupid lenses we have to get for the recaster, because that's one of the things you have to do for the final week of challenges.
Mm-hmm.
At 2,000 bow kills, like, dude, I fucking hate bows.
Mm-hmm.
I hate linear fusion rifles, and I'm sitting here running through a Lost Sector only using those two things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's terrible, but you put on a podcast or something and just go. Or you put on Netflix on your laptop or your iPad or something and just go crazy. So, Colin, I hope that answered your question adequately.
Yeah, don't feel bad if you want to dip for a couple weeks. You can always come back, right? This game's not going anywhere, obviously.
I mean, they're little story beats, too. Like, you can easily catch up on the seasonal story, and, like, Presage is something different, I think. Like, if you were of level to be able to go do that right away, I think you were wanting to do that. And, like, oh my God, I got to see what's happening. By the time we got to week 4 of it, so, like, last week or the week before, we had it repeat for the first time. We were like, oh, okay. So we don't have to kill ourselves to do this. We just have to get in here, run it real quickly, and grab the captain's log.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're good. Or grab the secret chests along the way that we've missed. You know, get the scannables, things like that. Like, because the scannables it's on a weird lockout. But I hope that answers it. You do have all year to come back and do this.
Mm-hmm.
But as we've seen before, like, there's people who skipped Season of the Hunt, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? Why is Uldren in the tower now? Like, why is he called the Crow? Why is he wearing this really cheap-looking Party City mask? Like, what is going on? Osiris is in the tower. Why
he borrowed that mask from Shahan.
Oh my God, he probably did. It's like, you'll miss out on some story beats, but like, if somebody skipped Season of the Hunt, I don't think you missed a whole lot.
Yeah.
You literally missed that Uldren is resurrected as the Crow, and you freed him. That's about what you missed. The High Celibate mission is really cool. I think that season is going to tie back in later on and down the road, because that's all about Xivu Arath.
Mm-hmm.
And this season is a direct repercussion of Xivu Arath's actions with the Cabal, destroying their homeworld. So it all fits together. And like Corey said earlier, there are some seasons that feel like they're less essential. The one that accompanies a major release is probably always going to be the least essential of the year. But if how they're doing Season of the Chosen, if this is the prototype for seasons for the rest of the franchise going forward, you have basically guaranteed I'm going to log in at least once, and I'm really happy for xCloud, so I can do it on vacation too. It's pretty bad. I'm going to be in line at Disneyland, pulling it out on my phone, running said story mission or exotic quest that I have to repeat.
You're in line for something like Splash Mountain or something, and you're just like running strikes while you're in line for 2 hours.
I'm going to be Phil Spencer playing it, waiting for my flight, picking up my gunsmith bounties.
I know. I saw that picture. I'm like, man, I really wish I had a Surface tablet right now.
That's a whole nother topic entirely. But yeah, I want one too. Corey, we're going to move on to our main topic tonight, though.
All right, let's do it.
By main topic, I guess it's just like our topic, really. Playlist rewards. So I want to talk about, just to kind of the basis of the conversation, do activities feel rewarding enough? And just as kind of a general like programming note, we're going to have this discussion now, but we're going to go more in depth in the next couple weeks as I'm able to go through Grandmasters. Trials comes back, so I want to see if they adjust the rewards for Trials a bit, considering how much it's been down. We're going to have an in-depth discussion on both of those, and then we're going to talk raid rewards also at some point. That's kind of the plan for April right now, is to have some in-depth discussions on those. Bring in one person who's like super knowledgeable on each one, like definitely more so than me or Nerd.
Right.
But as a refresher, there are 3 weapons that you can earn from each playlist activity. So 3 from the Strikes playlist, 3 from Crucible, 3 from Gambit. There are the 3 Nightfall weapons now, Nightfall specific loot, and those, I think they've handled that really well. Those are on a rotation each week. Those are probably the ones I feel like they're going to change out the quickest. I have a feeling that Palindrome, for example, will probably not be available next season, just as a hunch, because that's what everyone wants right now is Palindrome. They're going to be like, well, you had more than enough chances. The Adept version is going to be super rare, but we're going to bring it back down the line. You just won't know when.
Right.
They've said that, those are going to change from season to season. Not every season, but they may rotate things out. I feel like that's a pretty natural one to do. Maybe the ones that launched with Beyond Light. So Stars and Shadow, the Xenoclast, and I think it's Crowd Pleaser. I think it's the Gambit grenade launcher.
Yeah.
I feel like those are probably candidates to get shook up a little bit next season. But the ones they have right now for Vanguard, Crucible, Nightfall, and Gambit, almost every one of those weapons feels really, really good.
Yeah.
Especially, I know Bottom Dollar has been one a lot of people have been chasing, the 120 hand cannon, the revolver in Gambit.
Yeah.
I don't like the fusion too much in there. Frozen Orbit is an awesome sniper you can get from the Crucible. As well as I'm forgetting the name of it. There's a sidearm that I think is pretty decent that it can also drop. My favorite weapon, though, hands down, is the Vanguard Pulse Rifle, the third Axiom. I didn't really get a great perk roll on it. I got Genesis Dragonfly, but that gun is being slept on so much. This is the replacement for my pulses that have all been sunset that I've been looking for. It feels really good. I threw a slap the targeting adjuster on that thing, and I'm popping headshots constantly. And of course, when you're getting headshots with Dragonfly, things are exploding.
Right. I look for Dragonfly on every pulse rifle and scout rifle I can find.
I love it personally. It's not like the meta stat, but it's fun. It's like having Grunt Birthday Party built into your gun.
It's fun for PvE stuff, like easy.
I take it into PvP a lot. Yeah. I take third Axiom to everything at this point. It is a strong. If I did not need to run Divinity, it would be a strong contender to go into Nightfalls with me, I think.
Yeah.
But the other gun that can drop from Vanguard this season it's a rocket launcher that I did not know existed. Frankly, I finally got one to drop the other day. A buddy of mine was telling me his wife got it to drop with Lasting Impression, which is the one where when you shoot the rocket and it detonates, it splits into a bunch of mini rockets that then detonate on the target. That's the God Roll one that everyone's trying to get this season on Code Duello, the seasonal rocket launcher. I got it to roll on my Vanguard one. I got really shitty other perks with it because what you want that with tracking. But it's a start. I'm really excited. I want to take it in and see how it goes in the Nightfall, just for kicks and giggles.
Yeah.
Not into a Grandmaster, but maybe just into like Hero or something. Take it into the 1270 or even the 1300.
Right.
And see how that goes. And then the Nightfall weapons, the drop rates for those, I think they just got buffed along with all the other playlist activities. But it took me 16 runs to get a Shadow price in week 1.
Jeez.
And it drove me nuts trying to get that drop. Finally got it to drop. Got a decent roll on it. It definitely fires a bit slower than I remembered. I still like that palindrome. Of course, everybody wants a palindrome right now. And I finally got my first swarm drop this week with Dynamic Sway and Dragonfly on it. That has been really fun. I've really enjoyed taking that into, damn near everything that I can over the last couple of days. Really, really like that one. Our friend Nerd Generalist just got it, actually. He got the Adept version with those with that roll.
Ooh.
So I really want to see how that does. Adept weapons, again, like what that is, the Masterwork trait is buffed significantly more than Masterworking it like on a regular version of the gun. All the stats are a bit higher across the board, and then your Masterwork is really big. You want to pair those with your Adept mods. You are not guaranteed Adept mods, but this is why people are going in and running multiple Grandmasters, because just because you finished it once in the week doesn't mean you're locked out of getting rewards again.
Right.
You can keep getting those rewards, which is what you want to be doing.
Right.
Devil's Lair seems to be the one to do it on too, because it's Sepix Prime.
Right.
But Corey, now with all that breakdown, like, do playlist strikes, not just strikes, I guess, but playlist activities, do they feel with this reset buff, do they feel rewarding enough? Is there something else that needs to happen? Because we can now earn, with ghost mods, we can now get upgrade modules, enhancement cores, we can get prisms, we can get glimmer, legendary shards. Like, that I did not know this. But there is a prosperity mod you can slot for your ghost that will give you a better chance. When it says better shot for legendary gear, that means it's a better shot at the playlist weapons.
Ooh.
I did not know that.
What's it called?
I believe it's called prosperity. There should be one for each one, for Gambit, for Vanguard, for Crucible. I was having problem getting things to drop on Vanguard. I hadn't even seen the rocket launcher, and I've done God knows how many strikes now.
Oh, I have prosperity on my Ghost, a Vanguard one, and I have the Crucible one.
Yeah, I'm about to slap it on for the for Gambit because I really want that grenade launcher with chain reaction on it.
Right.
The extra elementals. You get that with spike grenades, and I want to say it's full court is the other one you want on that. Then it's just it's fantastic. Those are, but so you have all these rewards. Does that first off, is that a good selection of rewards from the weapons you've used out of those pools? Second off, does this and the materials you can get from your ghost mods and things like that, do those equal out how just god awful the armor looks across the board for all three vendors?
The armor looks bad, dude. The armor's just, it's bad. Right. Like,
it's bad.
I'm
more okay with it this season, though.
Yeah, but it's still bad.
Especially with transmog coming. Who is really using no ornaments on their armor at this point? Who has not gone and gotten stuff from Eververse or gotten stuff out of Bright Engrams?
Yeah, I mean, it's bad.
That's my only question right now.
It's bad, but it's... At this point, I'm just waiting for transmog, and I'm just running an ugly Guardian, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But in terms of rewards and stuff, though, I don't think it's been easier to get a lot of these things, especially if you're using mods and masterworking your ghosts right away, because it's relatively cheap to do so. I think rewards are great. I actually think the balance is okay now, because like you can go in and grind for the god rolls, but if you just want something to level up or something to, use if you're more of a casual player or don't care to go grind for stuff, like the rewards are good. Like you're getting drops, you're getting higher light level, you're getting decent rolls and stuff, but then you can go do your trials card, you can go do your nightfalls and grind out god rolls and stuff. Like I think, I mean, it's not perfect, right? But it's way better than it ever has been, I feel like. I feel like you're always getting something, whether it's infusion fodder or a new roll on a weapon that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's been better than this. I think if you want stuff to get stuff, it's easy to get higher level gear than it ever has been. But if you want to grind for those god rolls, they have that stuff for you to have the opportunity to do that.
I don't know what else to say. Like, I really like
plus
the reward structure now that they've buffed it. Before they buffed it, it felt bad.
Plus in terms of drops and stuff, like we talked about like exotic quests and stuff. This is outside of the activity playlist.
Yeah,
but like,
let's just we could just expand it to rewards in general. Yeah, let's move off playlists.
I think one of the smartest things they ever did was create exotic quests to go chase down these exotics. And then if you want, like, I don't want random roll stuff to be the new exotic thing, right? Like with Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale. But like, that's a cool one-off, once a season, maybe one exotic a season or every other season or something. If you have one that you can keep grinding that a mission or two to go get a random roll or a different perk, like I think that's okay.
I think they need to spread it out a bit more. I was really shocked that we got another random roll exotic quest so fast after
we did get 2 in a row, which was
odd. I don't want there to be a third one.
Yeah. At
Not
least
right
this,
now.
at least this expansion. I think you can wait till like the second or third season of the Witch Queen, probably like the second season to drop one.
So I'm gonna say something controversial. I'm gonna say take next season off, Vault of Glass season.
Mm-hmm.
Take that off from doing it. Do one though, and release it halfway through that gigantic, epically long season that we're gonna have this fall, to give the people who want to keep playing something to keep doing. Give it to us like even a third of the way through. Give it to us on like week 6 or 7. Drop it like we thought Dead Man's Tale was going to be dropped now in the Dead Zone. Drop it then, and okay, we can get a roll or two, but just be clear about it. Like, hey, this is like this Presage and Harbinger are going to stick around past season 15 because those are unique spaces we created. They just won't be powerful rewards anymore for you after Witch Queen comes out. Which that's the other thing I like from it. I already have my God Rolled Hawkmoon, and I have a Dead Man's Tale. I have 2 or 3 of them I'm very happy with. With Snapshot and with I have one with Subsistence. That especially once you do that, the Catalyst, oh my god, it's insane. I don't even aim anymore. I just pull the trigger.
Right.
I just literally run around the Crucible pulling the trigger, and I think everybody hates me.
Yeah.
But making those continuous powerful rewards you can get every single week, especially in the Hawkmoon quest in Harbinger, you get double drops. You get 2 Hawkmoons.
Right.
That's infusion fodder as far as I'm concerned at this point. Because I mean, that doesn't mean that you won't get an armor piece or another weapon to drop out of it too. Because I've gotten that as well. Like, that's all infusion fodder for me. I run that because that's another powerful to get. It may be a very long mission, and it may be really annoying even with the power increase, but it's one of those that it may be annoying, but it's still rewarding to do week in and week out. Now, am I going to keep doing these missions next season? Probably not, with the cap only needing to go up 10. Those are going to be like the ones I'll be like, oh, I'm so close to being Grandmaster level. I should go and do this right now. I don't know. I like how they're structuring those exotic quests. It's what I wish Whisper and Outbreak would have been.
Yeah.
That you could have run those once a week and gotten a powerful drop out of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, granted, those were more annoying, but I think a lot more of us would have been willing to suffer through it week after week if we would have been getting powerfuls from it the whole time.
Yeah.
But I think that's what you need in a game like this, in a live service game where you're trying to keep up player engagement, but you want to give different avenues for power, this and that. I actually wouldn't be shocked if one of these avenues, like if Harbinger, for example, stopped being a powerful in the 3rd season, just to keep things fresh, because, we're going to introduce a new activity that's going to take the place of that for a powerful. That'll be a legacy drop. You can get it. It'll be like a tier 3 powerful.
Maybe that's how they evolve sunsetting on certain things. Like maybe like they don't call it sunsetting, but they'll limit like, okay, well, this is the limit of what this will drop at.
I will almost guarantee that they're going to go ahead and say this is our standard roll for this gun going forward. But the fact that you have random rolls on Deadman's and on Hawkmoon makes me think that those missions may be sticking around for like a couple of years. And they'll just tackle the issue of what role do you want to get when the time comes. I mean,
they might stick around until that content is vaulted. You know, like that expansion is vaulted. Because once is there a thing going around that Forsaken is probably going to get vaulted this year?
I don't think Forsaken's getting vaulted this year.
Oh, I thought I saw something that
Forsaken. Oh no, I've seen the rumor. I know what you're talking about. I can't see them vaulting anything else this year. Or even at the beginning of Witch Queen. I really can't. At the same time, when Witch Queen comes out, we will be almost 4 years into Forsaken. We'll be at a little over, or at almost exactly 3.5 years since Forsaken came out at that point. The only reason why I say I can't see them sunsetting the Tangled Shore and the Dreaming City is I can see them doing
ties to it pretty much.
I can see them. Well, I mean, I think Savathun is tied to the Dreaming City. Dreaming City's not going away.
Yeah.
And it's still, in my opinion, the most gorgeous space they've ever created. The Last Wish raid and the Shattered Throne are both part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're going to sunset anything this year or in the next expansion, it'll be the Tangled Shore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are we really doing on it? Crow has left there now, and we've pissed off Spider.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you're going to do that, then you got to be willing to unvault something as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
well, I mean, Venus, right, with Vault would be your unvaulting something. I mean, would that even count since that's unvaulting before you're vaulting something else?
So that's the problem, though. We don't know if Venus is actually coming or if you're just going to enter it through somewhere else, which is entirely possible.
Well, didn't they already confirm that you're entering through Venus?
If they did, I mean, I'm sure they did. It could just be a controlled instance.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how they're going to handle this. It's really interesting. Like, if they choose to unvault Venus as a surprise, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world.
Right.
But I would be, at the same time, I'd be really surprised for it not to happen during a major expansion.
Right.
And I think with the calendar of stuff, like while we're talking about rewards, like Prophecy still drops a powerful at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it drops rewards on par with your level during it from the secret chests and from the first two encounters. I think that's probably going to be the next thing to go. Not like sunsetting the Prophecy dungeon, but like, oh, these aren't going to reward powerfuls anymore. They'll just give you like high statted gear or something. I feel like that kind of has to be something that's going to happen by the fall. Mm-hmm. I expect a new dungeon by the end of summer, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's me getting really greedy, but I expect one because by the time we hit the first week of June, second week of June, we've gone a whole year without a new dungeon.
Right.
It blows my mind that we haven't gotten one on Europa yet.
Yeah. Especially on the second, like either in the Clovis Bray facility or in the Deepstone Crypt, I guess. Right? Like that. I mean,
we are almost certainly to the Deepstone Crypt.
Yeah. Because that, I mean, even though it's called the Deepstone Crypt. Yeah. I mean, even though you're in the, like, it's called Deepstone Crypt, you're barely in it at all.
Yeah.
Most of it takes place in the space station. So
I feel like that kind of has to. I feel like that kind of has to be a thing that's going to happen, and I mean that's part of evolving the narrative, right? Like they've done a good job this season of tying in Europa to the current events. I think that's important. If it's a new destination from that expansion, it should factor pretty heavily into at least a season or two.
Right.
Last year we saw that as a problem with the moon. The moon was, I mean, obviously the raid launched from the moon. The Vex offensive invasions took place on the moon. But after that, you really didn't do anything until Season of the Worthy, and even then, there was one zone where you would do the Seraph Towers, and that was it. You had the Fellwinter's bunker there that they added in.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Like for the entire thing. Like this one, we've had a battleground on Europa. It's tied to the lore. If I'm a betting man, either next season or the final season is going to factor heavily into Europa because I think we're getting that dungeon. But at the same time, also, I guess in my greed, we've gotten two things that I would consider dungeons in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Harbinger and Presage both feel like what I think dungeons should have been. They are Whisper and Outbreak without the time limits.
Right.
Which is really nice. I mean, that's not to say that, Presage is not that hard, but Harbinger is not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Harbinger is really rough if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Even if you know what you're doing, it's still rough. We still hide in the back.
Yeah.
So I think as long as when you keep putting in fresh activities, as long as they keep being as rewarding as the current drop rate is, which I mean, I think could even stand to be buffed like maybe another 5 to 7%.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you don't have to use the mod should feel like you're getting something extra.
Right.
I shouldn't have to feel like I have to have this equipped in order to get a suitable amount of drops. Like if these are the weapons dropping, I want to get sick of seeing these weapons, especially if you're only going to keep them around for a season or two and then maybe rotate them out and put them into an Engram or something.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that being one. Do a playlist Engram through the Recaster in the future.
Right.
And you can parse this down, and you got a shot to get a Vanguard weapon, a Crucible weapon, or a Gambit weapon.
Yeah.
I don't know. But between that, the ghost mods, being able to get your mats from anywhere, the only place I really feel like is really lacking. So we know that Zavala is getting his fancy upgrade in May to be more like Shax and Drifter in terms of the reward screens, because I really like that. Whenever you rank up now, you can get materials. There's an emblem you can get exotic engrams, you can get prisms, cores, shards, etc. That's genius to me. I think that's really, really smart. You can get some upgrade modules through there. We need to overhaul the gunsmith like that next. Because the gunsmith is just, it's bad. You do your 8 bounties a week, you get your powerful drop from him, which is kind of useless after you're past the cap. Like, that's probably going to have to be changed to a pinnacle drop next season. I imagine a lot of these things are going to have to be changed to pinnacle drops now, because it's only going to be 10 light that you're going up. Like, powerful tiers 1, 2, and 3 really aren't doing you any favors at that point. I think you have to figure out a way to make the gunsmith rewarding. Right now, it's just like you're sitting on all these weapon parts. I mean, I'm sitting on like 30 or 40K of these things, hoping that one day they'll be relevant, or I can turn them into. I'd love to see it have a system similar to the Umbral Ingram machine. Let me turn in 500 weapon parts for a guaranteed drop of a rocket launcher or something. Or, hey, even bump it up to 1,000. I don't care. Make me spend those. Taking away the weeklies from Banshee really hurt too. That was a really big problem, because that was a source every week. You could get 2 free upgrade modules. And sure, that's not like the biggest of complaints on the on the docket here, but I think like maybe even like awarding, maybe you bundle in those 2 upgrade modules whenever you do the weekly at Banshee or something. Like give him upgrade modules and some bright dust, something like that is one of the avenues. Give him a reward structure like Shax and Drifter, where he can, have say like the first 2 are upgrade modules, and then enhancement cores, and then prisms, or like core, emblem, prism, something else, and then you have your shard at the end, but that turns to an exotic engram after a while or something. I don't know. I don't really know what else you do at that point. Like, make a ghost that you have to get, that you can get by doing it, or like, you reward a catalyst if you reset the gunsmith so many times. Like, I think things like that. There's so many unique things you could do with him in particular. The only person to me that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do a lot of this stuff with is ultimately Saint 14. I think Saint and the planetary vendors, it's good to not be doing this stuff with. I think those need to stay as they are. Saint, that's an entire other topic that we'll tackle with our trials discussion here in a few weeks. But
sorry, my kid needed transferred from her chair to her bed.
No, you're good. You're good. We were just talking about just kind of wrapping up the discussion on rewards, I guess, about how I really wish that they would implement a system with Banshee to make him more like Shax and Drifter, and how with the absence of his 2 weekly bounties, any avenue for getting free upgrade modules from him is now gone. And you can only get them once. You can get them twice per reset after your first reset with both Drifter and Shax, and presumably Zavala next season. But come on, Gunsmith should be giving that stuff out.
Yeah.
Maybe like give him a system similar to the Umbral Ingrams, where, hey, I can turn in 500 weapon parts, 20 shards, and like 20,000 glimmer, and get a guaranteed rocket launcher drop.
Right. Yeah.
Something like that, like to make farming a little bit better. Like, let me spend all my mats. If I want to go bankrupt, let me go bankrupt. I'm sitting on 40,000 weapon parts or something in my vault. Let me spend some of these.
Right.
It's what I did with the tokens when they were going to go away for the Crucible. I just sat there at Shax and turned them all in at the end of the season. I turned in like 8,000 tokens and didn't even get halfway through them. I still had like another 10K or something because I just don't turn. There's been no reason to ever turn in my tokens to him or to Zavala.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's to the point where, now it's just I'm not going to pick up any of my legendary Ingrams because they're so far below. Right. They're not even dropping like at my proper light level.
No, they're dropping for me at like 1250 or something stupid.
They drop significantly below where you are, which, okay, fine, whatever. But if you could guarantee that, because as of right now, specifically the playlist weapons are not in those rewards that you can get directly from them. That's absurd to me. Give me a chance for those in there. Give me a chance for them out of the Gambit Prime Ingram or the Crucible Prime Ingram for going up a major level.
Right.
Give me a chance to get them. I do like that you're doling out those primes, because that gives me a chance to at least like get all my stuff to the same level, especially in that pinnacle climb.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, kind of lets you target where you're going to farm a little bit better. I like so much about what they've done, but I really feel Saint needs an overhaul, and that's I've got notes on that and kind of trying to work up my thoughts on him. But especially Banshee. Banshee's been neglected for a long time. They took even more reasons that we used to go see him away. Now he's just kind of sitting there. At least give my man some Bright Dust if we're going to turn in 8 bounties to him. Give him some Bright Dust. Give him.
Josh is just about the Bright Dust. He just wants more Bright Dust.
I am all about the Bright Dust. I like the Bright Dust. Like, give me a seasonal pursuit from him. Like, if I reset my gunsmith rank so many times, by doing bounties, by doing quests for him, I can get a special catalyst or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or you have the opportunity to earn a ghost shell. Or really, what I would love for them to do is bring back Arms Day. I used to love Arms Day in Destiny 1. And that was a really unique way to get some really cool legendaries, and that was the only way you could get them was in Arms Day.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
Yeah.
You know? And you couldn't tell if something was going to be meta or not because you wouldn't roll until the following week.
Right.
I don't know. I like Arms Day, and I really wish it would come back. But if you're going to do that, you need to accompany it in the tower with a firing range.
Yeah.
The last thing, the only other thing I really want to say on the topic of rewards is it's looking a little bit into the future, but if I can make a plea with Bungie, it's do not time gate or season gate how many transmog materials we can earn in a season.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
I still think it's dumb that you have to pay for that or like use materials for that. It's stupid.
I mean, so you're going to get a certain amount for free. I know, like Dave said, it's going to be a sizable amount every season you're going to be given. Let me grind out for the rest of them. Give me the option to either pay for them because I'm lazy or to grind for them. I would rather grind for them. That would honestly, it would give me something else to do while I'm already doing other stuff. Let me stack something else on top of that.
Yeah.
Like we were talking with the seasonal challenges last week. I want to be given more seasonal weapons. Give me more chances for rolls while I'm doing this stuff. You're giving me a trials weapon for doing the 7 rounds.
Right.
Cool. Maybe when I finish the Grandmaster one, you give me a guaranteed Grandmaster adept weapon and an adept mod that is a certain mod that is guaranteed to you.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you can get it is by doing that challenge.
Right. Yeah.
That way, because you're not guaranteed an adept weapon or a mod from doing the Grandmaster. You just have a significantly high chance of doing it if you kill all the champions.
Yeah.
I think if you finish a Grandmaster, you should just be guaranteed it regardless.
Yeah, I think you should get one for finishing that.
I like what they've done with the double loot, double Nightfall loot. I like that. I like the double Valor. I like double Infamy. But we need some playlist shakeups in terms of activities. And again, kind of projecting over the next couple of weeks, that's one of the things we're going to get into is how do we fix some of these broken ass playlists. I want to play with the new stasis changes before we go too hard on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I still want to play around with some of those too.
But Corey, do you have any more thoughts on rewards or anything before we do a quick lore corner?
No. I mean, I like I said before, I think they could do a little bit better, but also I think it's in the best place it's ever been. They just need to tweak a few things and like you said, give some of the vendors a little bit of an overhaul and make it feel more, viable.
MMO-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, I wish the vendor engrams weren't as low as they are, but that's always been a thing. So anyways, I'm ready for some lore corner, Josh.
All right. Our lore corner this week comes from the we've talked a lot about this weapon today, the Swarm Heavy Machine Gun. It says, the Cosmodrome quakes under a killing wind. Fire sent roaring out from the entrenched Cabal gun lines across the Moth Yards. A Cabal advance threatens to encircle a defensive line held by crimson frames and one lone light. Shah Han dips his head beneath a swivel of machine gun rounds and dives for the trench line. He slams his back against an earthen wall next to a few shot-to-pieces redjacks. His eyes focus on the gaping bullet holes perforating their thin plating as he runs a shaky hand over his own chest. At least they were just frames. He had bled out from open wounds before and was in no rush to relive the experience. Shaw peers down to the end of his trench where a detachment of gladiators crash through their flanks. Just a little farther. A solar explosion vaporizes the leading gladiator and scatters their charge. A surviving Cabal recoils from the explosion and confusion. He stumbles backward into another of Shaw's trip mines and obliterates the rest of his comrades in a chain of explosions. Shaw exhales the tension in his chest and makes a mental note of the frames lost in the blast. He could take a verbal lashing from Shax if it meant no more blood on his hands. He glances back to the flank. Through the settling dust of a crisis averted, Shaw sees faint silhouettes of a second Cabal charge incoming. Damn it! Commander Zavala had tasked him with holding this sector, had called him by name directly, imbued Shaw with his trust. He couldn't go back after having lost the fertile ground for new lights. Old Russia was his to protect, and no Cabal conqueror would claim it while he still drew breath. Slugs slap hard into the earthen trench wall at his back, sending reverberations through his ribs. He shifts to plot a safe path to defend the flank. Shaw readies to move as heavy metal boot slams out a transmat in front of him, followed by a solid light barricade erected to deflect the incoming metallurgic hail. Get up, Han. That ditch isn't going to save you. Machine gun fire thunders off the barricade as Lord Saladin grabs him and raises Shaw to his feet. That's for your light to do. Saladin? Shaw closes his mouth and tries again. Lord Saladin. Zavala forwarded your support request. Saladin ignores Shaw's surprised expression and eyes to Cabal fortifications. You're with me now. Sir. Shaw nods with a steady confidence. What's the plan? Saladin peers through the cracking barricade, slugs crashing finger lengths from his face. Holiday is en route to deploy our heavy ordnance, but she needs their attention off the skies. Saladin looks for him for the first time and smiles. Take out their flak guns and give them no choice but to focus those machine gun nests on us. Oh. Shaw wasn't sure if he'd call this a plan. Maybe a Titan plan. You're fast on your feet, son. You'll be fine. Saladin motions the advance. Jack's suppressing fire. Lord Saladin strides into the no man's land, surrounded by advancing redjacks and a billowing aura of searing refraction. He hurls a fusion grenade across the expanse without breaking pace and demolishes one of the dozens of machine gun nests outright. Shaw moves behind him. Flame licks down the Ahamkara's spine lashed to his arm until it meets the hammer of his weapon and ignites his golden gun. He singles out several enemy flak cannons and skewers them with solar points, incinerating nearby Cabal. Hot barrels realign on the Guardians as a magnificent flare emblazons Lord Saladin's armor in solar light. From his palms erupts a mighty maul that clinks into his gauntlets. Heavy slugs clank as they shrug off his immolated plate. He does not flinch or falter. Saladin charges the line, hard intensifying and melting slugs into slag droplets that ping and sizzle against him. He slams his maul into the dirt, driving a sweeping inferno towards the Cabal gun line. It hits like a bursting artillery shell, catching oil alight and spreading hot panic throughout the ranks. Shaw dodges around incoming fire and reloads his weapon. He snaps off two more golden rays into the remaining enemy flak cannons. Frames push alongside them, absorbing slugs for the Guardians and keeping pressure on the gun line. Shaw spots several gladiator detachments, redirecting to confront them. He pushes the bulk of his light into his weapon, spreads its influence to reach the nearby redjacks, and reignites its gun before touching the barrel to the ground and firing. The ground bubbles with hot magmatic light. A warmth envelops the redjacks. A solar flare imbues and empowers their rifles with golden power. Shaw directs the firestorm of golden red jack rifles to incinerate every last charging foe. Saladin bears down on the Cabal, almost in their ranks now. He is a wildfire of light and death. Legionaries flee their nests rather than challenge him. Frantic Cabal radio transmissions crackle across the battleground. All remaining guns turn to stop the Iron Lord's advance, but only succeed in slowing him. Saladin's voice bellows above the gun line. Now, Siegfried! A Vanguard Vulture-class battle carrier shrieks through the sky above, just long enough for a lone Guardian to drop from the clouds. A meteor wreathed in lightning, bringing down havoc from the skies. So, first off, that's a hilarious mental image of
Dude,
Shaw
it's so funny.
cowering in a ditch and Saladin literally picking him up to his feet, like Aragorn to Sam after Gandalf's death, and is like, shrug it off, you'll be fine.
Oh my gosh, I hate Shaw.
The biggest implication here may be a new Hunter Super.
Yeah.
We have never seen this in the lore before, but it says specifically that the ground bubbles with hot magmatic light. A warmth envelops the Redjacks. A solar flame imbues and empowers their rifles with golden power. Imagine being able to give Golden Gun to all of your allies for your super.
That would be interesting. Like, you got to give it to Shahan, though.
Yeah, did you have to give it to him? Listen, I'm a hunter. Why is my hunter not in the lore getting this? That's what I want to know.
Why is our Guardian never in the cool parts of the lore? We're just like doing everything.
It's because then like Shaw is like, you be careful out there, Guardian. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Saladin literally had to pick you up off the ground.
Yeah, he's hiding behind some cargo crates, giving you bounties in the Cosmodrome.
Right? It's like, dude, come on. Like you have a home and everything out there. Like, calm down. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Trying to seem like a badass to the New Lights, and all they want to do is pop a cap in your ass by the end.
Yeah.
But I really like the implications of this. Like, yeah. I think this may be the first hint of when Bungie said that the existing light subclasses had the potential to evolve. Maybe this is the next step of Golden Gun. Instead of having two Golden Guns, maybe one of the Golden Guns turns into this.
Mm-hmm. Or like, I don't know, maybe there's like another. Maybe there's like another branch to
maybe there's
Golden
a fourth
Gun.
Tree. Yeah, maybe you do a fourth tree.
Yeah.
I think that's how you keep those light subclasses competitive, right? Because you have something like this, like I'm not running stasis.
Or you could almost
run Nighthawk with this.
Or maybe you get rid of the branches altogether and you go back to like the way Destiny 1 did it, where you could choose, pick and choose different bubbles, to optimize the class.
I do think they're going to restructure it to be similar to the stasis classes, very much RPG-esque.
Mm-hmm.
But this is really, really cool. I like this. Despite the Shahan narrative, I really like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious, the mental image of Saladin just like strolling through the Cosmodrome, just blowing everything up.
Mm-hmm. It's a Titan plan.
Hysterical.
It's a Titan
I was expecting him to pull out Galahorn.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That asshole probably went back to the tower and pulled it out of my old vault.
Man, when's Galahorn coming back?
Never. We've tackled this question before.
I know.
I don't want Galahorn back.
Yeah, I know.
I think there's so many better options now.
Yeah.
For heavy. Like, if you brought it back, it would just be like nostalgic.
Yeah.
But there's no way I could see them conceivably, as much as I'd like it back, as just for the nostalgia, I could see them doing it in the final expansion of the Light and Dark saga.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it back, but with the full understanding that like when the next chapter starts, that's not Light and Dark, they're going to sunset that specific exotic.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's like maybe Galahorn, like the torch cannons.
Oh yeah,
like maybe.
Oh my god, dude! If you could pick that up, like just imagine a raid. We talked about this. Like imagine a raid encounter where everyone is picking up Galahorns for boss damage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, dude! What you're running through the city, like you're running along the rooftops, chasing this big enemy, shooting Galahorns at it while it's destroying the city.
Mm-hmm. What if the Traveler is the final boss of the Light and Dark saga, and you have to use Galahorn to defeat it?
I'd be so mad. I'd be so disappointed. I'm shooting it from the old tower, just like taking 3 minutes for a rocket to hit the fucking Traveler every time you shoot a rocket.
Yeah.
You have to stay alive for those 3 minutes.
Maybe that's like the final event of the Light and Dark saga. Maybe it's
Everyone fires Gallarhorn in a community event.
Yeah. Yeah. You just see like it. You just see like all these Guardians lining the wall with Gallarhorn, and they all blow up the Traveler.
That would be great. I would like that. It's fantastic.
It's a cool image.
It's a really cool. Every Guardian that's logged in, just like 50,000 or not 50,000, like 500,000 Guardians, all shooting Gallarhorn up at the sky. Mm-hmm. Like everybody loads into a different place in the tower, and you see all these rockets cascading across the sky.
Yeah,
and everybody's marker just says "survive."
Yeah.
Like, imagine that, like, it's a darkness zone for everyone, and, like, at least one Guardian has to live.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's going to be Luke Smith. Luke Smith is going to be the one guy. He's going to be in a safe room the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Halo Reach style.
God. Yeah. Survive.
I don't think my heart could handle that.
Yeah.
Not with my Exo.
That's an interesting topic for another day, though, where, like, if there is the end of the Light and Dark saga, what happens to the ghosts and what happens to your light? And do you, like, how do you, like, revive yourself if the light is gone, you know?
Right. I have no idea.
That's an interesting topic. But, I mean, that's clearly a topic for another day when there's a slow time. But, man.
Yeah.
So. But, yeah, man. Saladin's got that Titan plan. There's also
shame we're gonna have to kill him to protect the crow.
There's a rumor that like Aphrodite might be coming back at some point too.
I hope she does, because that was just abrupt how she took off.
Mm-hmm.
We know she fought in the Red War, and that's the last we heard of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'd like her back. I liked her hosting Iron Banner better personally.
Yeah,
as the vendor, it made the world feel more alive.
Yeah, yeah. I almost feel like, I mean, not to the extent of this, but I almost feel like Destiny is getting close to that Star Wars problem where everything revolves around the Skywalkers, and now here everything revolves around like the
Zavala.
The Vanguard and like the people, you know, like we've been.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it'd be neat to go somewhere else, and like the Iron Lords are here, and then you know you have the Vanguard here, and I don't know. And I get
we said this when we talked about it a few weeks ago about the future of the franchise, that we do think that, well, at least I think that we're going to leave Earth behind at the end of Light and Dark, and we're going to go to another. Personally, I was a fan of. I was pro going to another solar system now during this. But if you're going to destroy the city, you have to commit to actually destroying it. And I just don't think that they're going to do that. I could see them nuking the tower for good, though, and the city still staying there. But, like, the Vanguard going into hiding or something, being betrayed, I don't know. Like, what if Shaxx just, like, thunder crashes across the tower because of the Ahamkara skull? Him and Zavala are just duking it out in shitty Tower 2.0.
It'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. God, it'd be ridiculous. It's going to be the Man of Steel fight between Clark Kent and Zod.
Yeah.
All across the city, though.
Yeah.
Then they're both going to team up to just beat the shit out of Saladin then get back to it.
Titans are fun.
Corey, get us out of here before I speculate about killing any more of our favorite fictional characters.
Oh, man. Zavala's going down. Ikora's taking over. That's how I feel. I hope not, though, because I don't want Lance Reddick to leave. They'll just give him another character to voice, right? That's how that works.
Just make him the voice of Ghost.
Yeah.
We don't need Noah North.
Yeah. Zavala just gets absorbed in you.
Every time Ghost talks, it's in like this regal, majestic voice. Guardian, we have to fight the darkness together. Also, I wanted Stringer Bell dead.
All right, Josh, we're getting out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. Remember you can email the show at towercasuals@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at towercasuals. Leave us a nice review on iTunes if you listen to us there. We're also on Spotify and Google Podcasts and bunch of other stuff. So you can download us there, stream us wherever you want. Josh, where can we find you?
You can find me, as always, on Twitter and Twitch as @Josh_Finn with 2 N's.
Yes, playing that Dishonored 2.
I'm going to be starting Dishonored 2 this week. I was going to play New Vegas, and then I played Dishonored 1 just one night, like, out of kicks and giggles. I was like, I'll see what this is about. You know, my friend Ray's been trying to get me to play it, and I ended up finishing it in 2.5 days because I sat down and, no joke, played over half the game in one sitting last night. It was awesome. I love that game so much.
I downloaded a bunch of games that I've never played before, so I'm like, I mean, believe it or not, I might have more time to game in the next month than I usually have, because it turns out one kid sleeps and the other one just doesn't move. So we'll see.
Hey, that works.
We'll see how this iOS cloud stuff happens. But you can find me at I am Corey HG on Twitter. You can find me on Standard Definition. You can find me on the Boss Rush podcast. You can find me on various other things happening on the internet. Josh, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate you.
Always.
I only have one more show. I'm very sad.
You do have, at least you're getting in the show with Proving Grounds going live.
That's true.
Because Proving Grounds goes live on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we're going to get that spicy cutscene of Zavala and Crow.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll at least be able to talk about the new strike before you vamos for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Before I have my own new light to deal with.
Yeah. We one note, I said we were going to talk about it today, but we didn't. The League Guardian games, armor and ghosts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk Guardian games next week.
Yeah.
We're going to shift that the next week. Talking about rewards took a little bit longer than I had planned, and I want to give that topic the attention it deserves because this armor and the ghosts are absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, the ghosts in particular are awesome.
I want to have time to go in on this, so
yeah.
I got to get my soapbox out.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next week, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.